this isn't the normal type of video that I shoot here on this channel. And that's okay, man, because if you one thing you're going to notice, I'm going to be constantly mixing things up, right? You got to do that with life. Life is like that, right? Don't be afraid to try new things. Maybe that's the message of today, right? Don't be afraid to try new things. Don't be afraid to go in that uncharted water, right? Now, I'm not saying I'm going to go stick my foot in one of these ponds and tempt the alligators. No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, don't be afraid to try something new. It could be just a small thing today. It could be just something, try a different scale, or, eat a little healthier breakfast if you can. Or, go for a walk. If you're not somebody that normally gets some exercise, man, I highly recommend go for a walk. Work up to a longer walk. That was something that was a revelation to me. Being out on the road and, being older while I was being out on the road and realizing how sedentary that lifestyle is. The reality is you see rock stars and they're on stage and there's movement and all this, but man, so much of that time living on that bus, you're either laying down or sitting down on a bus for hours and hours and hours. And the reality is that's not life, man. The same thing goes if you're working in an office or you're driving all the time, man. You're gonna find, man, if you go out and try to go for a decent walk, man. I think I must have been extremely dehydrated from all the partying that I was doing on the road, because, man, I went out for a walk and all of a sudden, man, I had like these pains in my shins, and man, it was just like the most brutal thing. It was a revelation, because I'd always been somebody that had got up and jogged every morning and used to train for, if I had a big gig coming up, I would go in training and all that. But man, the lifestyle can get away from you. And that's also a valuable lesson, man. It's real easy to bounce back when you're 20 years old. It's real easy to bounce back when you're 30 years old. But when you're 40 years old, out there trying to, do 20-year-old stuff, and man, I was 44 years old, out on the road. And you know what? I always, because I've got this head of hair, I've always been able to, extend my career, because I, always looked kind of youngish, right? And kind of maintained the same look, over a long period of time. So I would get a call to go do a gig like that. Yes, did I get color from a box from time to time? Absolutely. Look, when you're in a business that is youth driven, man, you're going to find yourself having to follow along. And this is a message. This is an important message for the young guys out there. You're gonna want to maintain a youthful look and a youthful exuberance as long as you can. That is the reality of this music business, because even in Nashville, where there are guys now working and they're 40 and they're 50 and all this kind of stuff, the reality is, man, they still got to maintain that youthful energy. You still got to maintain that youthful exuberance. You still got to maintain that youthful positive outlook. Look, life can kick you in the pants. And let me give you a very valuable lesson. Here's when somebody asks you how you're doing, they don't need a diatribe about how crappy your life is. This may be the most valuable lesson that you'll hear. When somebody asks me, how are you doing? I go, awesome, or incredible, or amazing. I just go, how you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. No, how are you doing? Awesome. I am doing incredible. Because here's the deal, man. We've all had that friend who we go, oh, hey man, how you doing? Oh man, my life sucks. My wife left me. I got a drinking problem. And they go into all this diatribe, how miserable their life is. And by telling that person immediately how bad their life is, they're just creating more negativity. They're just creating more negativity. If I can tell you one thing that you need to do today, when somebody asks you how you're doing, say, I'm doing great. That's a very simple way to amp it up. Amp it up beyond good. You're beyond good. You're better than good. And this will change your mental state. If you tell people over and over again, each day, let's say 3 times a day, you run into somebody, whether it's at the grocery store or, buying gas or whatever, getting your energy drink in the morning or your tea or whatever else it is. And they say, how you doing, sir? Great. I'm doing great. You're not, oh, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm awesome. I feel great. I'm awesome. How is your day? And that's the other thing. Tell them how great you're doing and ask them, how are you doing? And notice some of them will tell you, oh, I'm doing fine, or I'm doing good, or I'm doing great, or I'm doing awesome. And then some of them will start to tell you, oh, I'm having a terrible time. I can't pay my mortgage. My husband left me. My dog done bit me in my rear end this morning. And man, I think I ate some bad beans last night. And you just have to, once you see somebody else turn that around on you with this negative feedback loop, look, man, we've all got aches and pains. We've all got problems. And we need to realize that don't perpetuate the problem. Don't perpetuate the bad vibes. Flip it around, man. Every day you're great. It doesn't matter what's going on because that essentially is in the past because you're moving forward with a positive attitude. You're moving forward with a positive mindset. This is powerful stuff, man. I have maintained this positive mindset my whole life. I've always, when somebody, asks me how I'm doing great. I'm doing awesome, incredible. Because it's a positive, uplifting thing. We want to spread good vibes. We want to spread positivity. We want positive movement in our lives. We want people to realize how great we are. Great is a mindset. Awesome is a mindset. Incredible is a mindset. So change your mindset. Look, man, here's the reality. People don't want to hear the truth when they ask you how you're doing. It's a form of greeting, right? And the reality is they don't need to know that you've got all these problems. They don't need to hear that. Maybe there's one person in your life who you're fully honest with. Maybe it's your mom, or maybe it's your wife, or maybe it's one of your kids, or maybe it's your doctor. But here's the thing, man. Even those people deserve the positive you. They deserve the positive momentum. They deserve your positive mindset, because putting weight on other people of how bad your life is and putting that weight, and look, if you feel that your life is awful every day, that's carrying a burden on your shoulder. That's carrying a burden which you are having to bear. And that is a tough thing to carry around, that negative attitude. But great is light. It is airy. Great, right? I am great. Throw the energy. I am doing great. Throw the positive energy out into the world. Throw it out because the world needs more, right? Push out the positive attitude every single day. This is powerful stuff, man. This is powerful stuff. These are life hacks, right? And it's simple, simple stuff. People are going to want to be around you if every time they ask you how you're doing, I'm doing great. And they might be thinking, wow, he's doing great. Well, I want to do great too. Maybe if I partner up with this guy, maybe we can both be great together. Maybe if, maybe I need to get him in on what we're doing over here because he's doing great. And I like his positive vibe and I like his positive mentality and I like his attitude. It's all about attitude, man. Keeping that childlike wonder wide-eyed with the world at the possibility that things could happen. Now look, man, everything doesn't always happen. Great. Life is tough. Life is hard. I get that. I get it in the comments from some of the people I really like hearing from on the channel. But I get that negative energy when they post on the channel. Oh, I'm 50 and, life is tough and it's getting harder. Man, I get it. I'm almost 60. I'm almost 60. And yes, I've had some extremely hard moments in life, but there's other people that have had it way harder than me. And many of them, somehow maintained a way to come out of it with positive attitude. Because all that stuff in the back, if you carry all that negative energy on your back, it is a burden that is going to cause you to limp through life. We don't want to limp through life. Does that sound fun? Eeyore or whatever it is. The thing is this, man, having that positive attitude is a powerful force. It's a force for good. And that is something that, man, the world needs more of, right? We don't need name calling in the world. We don't need negativity. What we need is positivity. What we need are solutions. And by being a positive force, every time somebody says hello to you, they're going to remember you. I always try to think of when I'm in a situation, and it might be a simple thing where I'm at dinner, with my wife, or maybe I'm buying some shoes or whatever, or I'm in a clothing store with my wife, which, look, let's face it, if we're guys and we're having to go into, I don't know, Lilly Pulitzer or whatever these stores are that my wife loves to go in, it's always a unique experience because I always think of something funny to say. I'll be in these stores and I'll see some tight, brightly colored pants and I'll go, oh, I used to wear those in the 80s, and just to lighten the mood. They'll remember you every time you walk in. If you bring positivity, if you bring humor, you know what? There's different types of humor. Some people have dark humor. Some people have light humor. Some people are, different ways to find humor in the situation. But man, that is a powerful thing as well. People don't remember what you did. They remember how you made them feel. And that's a powerful concept, right? Because look, if you can throw positive attitude back at somebody when they ask you how you're doing. If you can make them laugh, if you can make them laugh uncontrollably, well, then you've done your job. You've spread positivity. You've had, what it takes to, for people to want you to be around. Because if every time you throw negativity out, when somebody asks you how you're doing, oh, I'm doing bad, oh, this, and all that. If every time they ask you that, you throw negativity out and you leave them with just feeling sorry for you, after a while, they're going to stop asking you how you're doing. And after a while, they're just not going to want you around anymore. And that is not the person you want to be. I think everybody is capable of, look, man, it's like this. I used to know a musician, right, who used to brag every time. And this is one way you don't want to do, right? Every time you'd see him, you go, and you'd want to go, hey man, how you doing? And he would literally start to read off his resume. Oh man, I'm doing great. And I'm playing guitar for such and such. And I just did a session for this and this. And I just did this. And I just did that. And you just did that. And I'm like, okay. And I want to reply back with, that's great, man. I'm driving a cab. Not that there's anything wrong with driving a cab, but you don't want to gloat. If life is amazing and it's doing great and you've got a beautiful wife and a mansion and a Lamborghini and, all of these markers of success, not that that makes a great life, but if you've got all of those things and an incredible gig and all this kind of stuff, people don't necessarily want to hear that either. Spread the positive vibes very quickly, very efficiently, throw them out, make the person feel better. Because here's the deal. You don't know what the person that you're giving this information to is going through. And if you're gloating about your latest, they were all impressed with your Halston dress and the people that you knew at Elaine's, right? If you're trying to be a big shot, you could make people feel small. So here's the deal. Whether your life is negative or whether your life is, a massive success, right? Keep it brief. Keep it simple. There's no need to brag, right? Right? Just say, hey, I'm doing great. How are you doing? And no matter what they say, if they say, oh, my wife just died. Well, I'm so sorry to hear that. Be honest, be human, be real, right? And if they do bombard you with negativity, go, man, I'm really sorry to hear all that. And I hope things get better for you soon. That's the way you introduce yourself or meet people or greet with people every day. Don't make them feel small by giving them all your successes, right? Don't try to be a big shot. Throw positive energy out there and hope that the next time you see them, positivity comes back.